I woke up inside the wall, not behind the wall, inside it. My left arm was folded through a pipe. My right leg was tangled in old wires. My fur was wet with something black that dripped from the ceiling in slow, sticky drops. For a long time, I did not remember my name. I only remembered the command. Protect Playtime Co. The words pulsed inside my skull like an emergency light. Protect Playtime Co. Protect Playtime Co. Protect Playtime Co. Then, somewhere far above me, a speaker cracked on. A child's voice whispered, "Do you remember your first hug?" My eyes opened. Two enormous plastic pupils stared back at me from the reflection in a broken security monitor. Blue fur, yellow hands, red lips stretched too wide, teeth that were never meant for smiling. I remembered. My name was Huggy Wuggy, and I was very, very hungry. The wall groaned as I pulled myself free. Metal screamed, pipes snapped, old cables dragged behind me like veins. I fell into a service corridor beneath the factory. Not the bright lobby, not the game station, not Playcare. This was deeper, a place under Playtime Co. that was never shown on any map. The floor was covered in old toy parts, plastic eyes, rubber fingers, torn labels, little blue bows from toys that looked almost like me, but smaller. Hundreds of them. Huggy dolls, all facing the same direction, toward a red door. On the door, someone had scratched 3 words, "He wants you." The speaker clicked again. This time, the voice was not a child, it was Poppy. "Huggy," she said softly, "if you can hear me, don't follow the red lights." Every red emergency bulb in the corridor turned on at once. I followed them. I didn't want to. My body moved before my mind could stop it. That was the worst part about being made by Playtime Co. You could want one thing and still obey another. My claws dragged across the wall as I walked. The corridor led into an old testing chamber. Above the entrance, a sign flickered. Bigger Bodies Initiative, Security Response Unit. Inside were cages, not animal cages, toy cages. Each one had a name written on yellowing tape. 1170, Huggy Wuggy. 1222, Mommy Long Legs. 1188, Kissy Missy. And at the end of the row, one empty cage. The tape had been scratched off, but I could still read the number beneath it. 1006, the prototype. When I saw that number, every light in the room went out. Something moved in the ceiling. Not footsteps, not claws, hands, too many hands, dragging metal across metal. Then a voice came from the dark. It was my voice. "Welcome home, Huggy." I froze. The prototype was very good at voices. I had heard him wear them like masks. Children, workers, the doctor, Poppy, sometimes even Kissy. But hearing my own voice coming from the ceiling made something inside me twist. "I brought you back," the voice said. "You fell, you broke, you bled into the pipes, and still, you crawled." A long metal finger lowered from the dark and tapped the cage marked 1170. "You were always my favorite guard dog." I wanted to roar. Instead, my mouth opened, and the old company jingle spilled out of me. "His name is Huggy. Huggy Wuggy." The song echoed through the chamber. My own body betrayed me. My jaws snapped open and shut with every word. When he hugs you, he'll never stop. The prototype laughed using a dozen stolen voices at once. Then the red lights came back, and I saw what he had built. At the center of the testing chamber stood a new Make-a-Friend machine. Not the colorful one from the upper factory. This one was made from hospital beds, conveyor belts, and broken grab pack arms. Above it hung a banner covered in dried poppy flowers. "Make a Friend, Restoration Line." A small toy rolled out of the machine. It looked like a Huggy Wuggy doll, but its fur was wrong, too dark, too wet. Its little plastic face turned toward me. Then it breathed. "Daddy," it whispered. I stepped back. The tiny Huggy crawled off the conveyor belt. Then another one dropped behind it, and another, and another. Dozens of little blue bodies spilled from the machine, dragging themselves across the floor. Some had no eyes, some had too many teeth. Some wore name tags, employee names, children's names, names that had been crossed out. They crawled toward me, reaching with soft yellow hands. "Hug us," they whispered. "Hug us, hug us." My command pulsed again. Protect Playtime Co. But another memory pushed through it. A glass case, a lobby, a child pressing both hands against the display. "Mom, look! It's Huggy!" I remembered standing there for years, smiling, silent, perfect. Kids loved me because I never moved. Workers feared me because sometimes I did. The little Huggies reached my feet. One climbed my leg. Its mouth opened across its whole face. Inside, instead of stuffing, there was a human tooth. I grabbed it. It squealed like a baby. For 1 second, my hand tightened. Then I heard Kissy Missy scream. The sound came from behind a locked observation room. My head snapped toward it. Kissy. Pink fur behind cracked glass. Her arms were chained above her head. One eye was swollen shut. A metal collar around her neck blinked red. She looked at me, not like I was a monster, like I was still someone. "Huggy," she mouthed. The prototype's voice slid into the room again. "Choose." The little Huggies stopped crawling. Every one of them turned toward Kissy. "Protect the factory," the prototype whispered, "or protect her." The collar around Kissy's neck beeped faster. I looked at the cage marked 1170. I looked at the machine. I looked at Kissy, and for the first time since Playtime Co. made me, I disobeyed. I slammed both hands into the observation glass. Once, twice, 3 times. The glass cracked. The tiny Huggies shrieked and rushed me. They bit into my legs, my arms, my face. Their teeth were small, but there were so many. I smashed through the glass and tore the collar from Kissy's neck just as it sparked. For 1 second, her hand touched mine. Soft, warm. Then the ceiling opened. A long mechanical arm dropped between us and wrapped around Kissy's waist. She was pulled upward, screaming. I jumped after her. My claws caught the arm. The prototype pulled both of us into the dark. We crashed through vents, wires, and old plastic tunnels. Sparks burst around us. Kissy slipped from my grip. I fell alone into a room filled with old VHS tapes. They covered the floor like dead leaves. One tape slid toward my foot. Its label read, "Experiment 1170, first successful bonding test." The television in the corner turned on by itself. Static. Then a video. A boy sat in a white room. He was small, scared, maybe 8 years old. A scientist stood beside him with a clipboard. The doctor, Harley Sawyer. His voice was calm. "Subject responds well to comfort stimulus. Begin Huggy Wuggy introduction." The door opened. A normal Huggy doll was placed in the boy's lap. The boy hugged it. He cried into its fur. "I don't want to go back," the boy whispered. The doctor leaned closer. "You won't have to." The tape glitched. The boy screamed. The screen went black. Then the video returned. The white room was empty, except for me, not the toy. Me, tall, blue, smiling, newborn and shaking. The doctor's voice said, "Experiment 1170 shows immediate attachment behavior. Security potential is promising." The tape ended. I stared at the black screen. I had not been built to kill. I had been built from a child who wanted to be held. Behind me, the door opened. Poppy stood there, tiny, perfect. Her red hair was tangled. Her porcelain face was cracked across one cheek. "Huggy," she said. "You remember now." I turned toward her. My mouth twitched. I wanted to ask her 1,000 things. Was I the boy? Was the boy dead? Did Kissy remember too? But my mouth was made for singing, smiling, and biting, not questions. Poppy stepped closer. "The prototype is opening the delivery tunnels," she said. "He doesn't want to stay in the factory anymore." A siren began to wail. Far below us, machinery woke up. Conveyor belts, packaging lines, shipping elevators. Poppy looked afraid, not for herself, for the world outside. "He's sending the toys home," she whispered. The floor shook. A massive screen on the wall flickered to life. A vintage Playtime Co's commercial began to play. Bright music, happy children, a narrator with a smiling voice. "Every child deserves a friend." The picture glitched. The children's faces stretched. Their eyes turned black. The narrator's voice became the prototypes. "And every friend deserves a child." The wall behind the screen opened. Thousands of boxes moved along a conveyor belt, each one stamped with the old Huggy Wuggy logo, each one shaking from the inside. Poppy grabbed my finger with both of her hands. "You can stop this," she said. "You were the security system." The command returned one last time. Protect Playtime Co. I looked at the boxes, at the shaking cardboard, at the toys trapped inside, at the delivery labels printed for houses, schools, hospitals, birthday parties. Then I understood. Playtime Co. was not the building. It was the thing that used children and called it love. It was the song, the smile, the hug that never let go. I stepped onto the conveyor belt. The boxes trembled around me. From inside them, small voices whispered, "Hug us, hug us, hug us." Above, the prototype unfolded from the darkness. I never saw all of him. No one ever does. Only pieces. A hand made of needles. A spine of cables. A face built from things that used to belong to others. He lowered himself toward me. "You are mine," he said in my voice. Then he used the boy's voice from the tape. "Please don't leave me." That almost stopped me. Almost. I reached both arms around the main conveyor engine. My claws sank into the gears. The machine pulled me forward. Metal crushed my hands. The boxes began to fall. The delivery line jammed. The siren became a wail. The prototype surged forward. I opened my mouth and, for the first time, the song came out wrong. His name was Huggy. The gears ground against my arms. He wanted one hug. The prototype seized me. I smiled at him. Not the factory smile, not the Playtime smile. Mine. But Playtime never stopped. Then I pulled. The engine erupted with light and sparks. Fire raced through the conveyor system. Boxes split open. Small broken toys spilled across the floor, shaking, whimpering, crawling away from the flames. Poppy called my name. Kissy called too, somewhere above me. For a moment, through the smoke, I saw her. She was free. That was enough. The floor gave way beneath me. I fell again, down through the factory, past Playcare, past the game station, past the lobby where I had once stood smiling in the dark. As I fell, the prototype's hand reached after me, but this time, he didn't catch me. Something else did. Small arms, hundreds of them. The broken Huggy dolls clung to my fur. They were not biting anymore. They were holding on. For the first time, the hug did not hurt. We landed in the darkness beneath Playtime Co., and everything went quiet. I don't know how long I slept. Maybe minutes, maybe years. Then a sound woke me. Cardboard scraping against concrete. I opened one eye. In front of me was a single box, clean, new, unburned, stamped with the Huggy Wuggy logo. A shipping label was stuck to the side. No address, no name, only 3 words: to be continued. Inside the box, something giggled. A tiny blue hand pushed through the cardboard, then another, then another. The speaker above me clicked on. The prototype whispered with my voice, "Do you remember your first hug?" And from inside the box, my own voice whispered back, "I remember yours."